patternpuller.com. In today's video, I'm going to make a shaker card using these really adorable stamps by Denami Designs. We're going to use some bright colors and do a little watercoloring. If you're new to my channel, I hope you'll subscribe so you don't miss another video. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial and you're inspired. I'm going to do is use my deactivator tool to wipe down the card stock, removing any static so the embossing powder does not stick to places I don't want it to. And then I'm going to stamp this darling little chickie on a star, and I'm going to emboss it in black. I'm using watercolor paper. I'm going to watercolor the chick, and the embossing will help keep the watercolor and the color inside the lines. That's always nice, right? Stamp Nation, we have a sketch challenge, and here is a little peek at the card I made for my video over there. And I'm going to use some of the same techniques and ideas that I used in that card or on that card for this little chickie one also. I'm using a Simon Says Stamp Sunshine ink pad. We'll just get a little color palette going there. And then I have my little aqua painter. This is a Stampin' Up! Product. And I'm going to wet the inside of the star. Pick up color and then add it. It's pretty easy to watercolor this way. Now, as I was coloring that star, I was thinking, maybe I should have colored it a different color because I don't want to have a yellow star and a yellow chick right next to each other. But who says this needs to be a chick? How about a bluebird? So I'm going to do some blue. Just going to wet that down. And then I have Salty Ocean and peacock feathers. We'll just start adding the color. And this is going to be the cutest little bluebird, all ready for Christmas. There's little peacock feathers. I'm going to add more Salty Ocean down on the bottom. More peacock feathers on the top. And he is a bluebird. And then I'm going to add a little orange here for the nose. I'm just grabbing a marker. And then we have a little bit of a hat peeking out up on the top. So I have Festive Berries. I have a Merry Christmas Greeting, again by Denami. And I'm going to use this Wow embossing glitter. It's gold and it's awesome. I will zap that with the heat tool. I was about to cut this out when I decided that I wanted to make a shaker card. It's just screaming shaker card to me. So I'm going to do a little red sponging and a little bit of stamping, and then I'm going to cut this out and make a frame to go around the shaker card or around the shaker element. And then I'm using this diamond stamp. It is from Denami Designs. I'm using my Stitch Rectangles dies by Lil Inker, and I'm just going to stack them one inside the other, and this will make a really nice frame. I'm using my magnetic Big Shot platform so that it sticks down and doesn't move around, I hope. And now we have this really cool frame for the shaker card. Pretty much any heavy clear plastic that you can get your hands on is going to work great, like transparencies for teachers and schools and overhead projectors. I have one little teensy piece left from my pack of window sheets by Stampin' Up, and it is just barely gonna fit here. Good grief, I'm squeaking by. I'm working on my frame, and when I've done shaker cards in the past, I always use Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I just peel off the edge and use that. And usually that's fine, and it works great. I am feeling like sometimes though, my little shaker box is not quite tall enough, and the sequins don't shake around as much as I want them to. So I am doing 2 rows high. So I already have 1 layer of this foam adhesive, and then now I'm just adding another layer. I'm gonna link on my blog to other foam adhesives that you can use. Maybe they'll be a little easier than the dimensionals. This is just what I have on hand, so you know, what I always encourage you guys to do is use what you have on hand and don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff just to create the things that I do. I want you to use what you have. So that's what I do. All right, and then I'm gonna add that right on top of there, but we gotta put in some sequins first. So sparkling clear, these are all Pretty Pink Posh sequins. Whoops, that's kind of a lot. I actually think I'm gonna do it the other way around. I always put them in the box first, but then sometimes I can't see what my sequins are gonna look like and if it's gonna be too many. So I'm gonna do it the other way this time. Some little tiny gold ones. Some big red discs. I don't remember the technical term for these. We'll do some blue because we have a blue bird. And some yellow for the star. And when doing your frame, make sure there are no gaps in the foam adhesive because that is where your sequins will escape. Okay, there is my little box. And that is awesome! These little sequins are shaking around like nobody's business. Now I could add this to a card front and call it a day, but I want to do a little bit more interest. I'm going to use this great chevron stencil and some embossing paste. This is Dreamweaver embossing paste. All right, and we're just gonna spread this all on that white cardstock. Remember that little shaker box is gonna be in the center, so I don't have to worry about getting the center as well as I get the edges. We'll just scrape the excess back in here. Don't forget to clean up right away because this embossing paste dries really hard and then it's hard to get off. Ooh, look at that. All right, let's pull this up and then you may wanna run your finger along the edge if there's any rough spots there. Before I let this dry, this is a really fun, whimsical card. So I'm feeling like there needs to be some glitter on the embossing paste, and I am making a mess. I'm gonna have glitter all over me. All right, now I'm gonna let this dry. Go with a white card base, but I want it to match my card a little better. So I'm gonna sponge around the outside. Only the edges are gonna show. So right onto my card base, I'm sponging some Salty Ocean. And I have it open because if I have it closed and it's not perfect, I'm gonna get color on the inside. Now that is gonna change when I get up to the fold here. And I'll just go along the top and then I'll open it back up. And I'm going to grab my peacock feathers. This way the base of the card is going to match that bird perfectly. It's going to have a little Salty Ocean. It's going to have some peacock feathers in there. Now to finish this card off, I did heat this a little and I've heard, haven't actually seen it myself, but I've heard that if you heat embossing paste, the paste will bubble. I needed to dry this in a hurry because I have kids coming home from school any minute. So I took my heat tool and I kept it up really high and I dried it and it did not bubble. And there is glitter everywhere. So I'm gonna give this a couple flicks. Glitter everywhere. That's usually how I roll though. And then a little liquid glue on the back of this. I feel like liquid glue is gonna be the best to really get adhered down into all of that embossing paste and that texture. And that is all for this adorable little shaker card. I love the fun and the whimsy of it. Be sure to hop over to katherinepooler.com. You can check out all of the details for this card, including the supply list and links and more photos. And also, if you're not a member yet at Stamp Nation, you are going to want to check us out. Almost 500 video tutorials over there teaching you how to become a better paper crafter. Not to mention the community. If you ever wanted some stamping friends to hang out with, that is the place to be. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you love shaker cards. Have a great day. I was about to cut this out when I decided that I wanted to make a shaker And I am ready to go. I'm ready to go.